SBA EIDL Loan repayment news updates, how to get an alternative SBA EIDL loan up to 5 million, 10 million plus, how to get private lending options so you can do it without hard credit checks, no collateral, and bad credit is acceptable. Even this with low documentation and so much more, as going in through consolidations, defaults, in a few scenarios that I've been running into a lot lately, and I've run into this a lot in the past, so I'm going to clear it up. But before I get started, if you're watching me right now on the live, please give me a hashtag live in the comments or a hashtag replay. If you are watching this later on, perhaps on the YouTube channel, welcome in. George, how are you doing? Cynthia, nice to have you. Dave, welcome in. Hi, guys. Usually I will do this at around 1 to 1:30, but I am in here a little early as I've gotten a lot of the things that I need to get done with from earlier this morning, and so I'm here now. And I'm going to let this room warm up for a bit, and I will get going on some of the repayments, understanding where you have to go, what account you have to set up. If you haven't yet, you should already have it by now. And then what are the expectations with the EIDL loan moving forward, and a bit more. Hi, how are you doing? So there's been a lot happening, a lot of buzz with EIDL news. But before I get into that, it's been an amazing day here. I just saw the shine of the light coming through the window. And it is a little cloudy here in Vancouver, Washington. Yesterday it was a bit humid. I know you don't put humid and Washington together, but it was around 99 to 100 degree weather here. And I know for those of you who are like, well, I live in Arizona or in a much more humid location, you're like, we get that every day. And I've been out there. I know how bad it can really get. You just stand outside, you're already melting. You're like an egg who's being cooked. But a lot of fun stuff happening here in Washington as well as anywhere else. And a lot of files that have been coming through. I've been seeing a lot of people who aren't really necessarily quote unquote as honest with their business. And then others are very honest, but it's not usually that person who has all the information that I'm speaking to. They need to gather more from their owner or owners, or they are an owner, but they're not the majority. So whenever I ask a question, it's always best that you check with the one who's the majority owner, the one who really runs the whole business operations, who understands perhaps if they've had an advance, a business loan in the past. And the reason that I bring that up is because a lot of the times you may not know. If I'm speaking to you, you're probably the marketing guy, or you're the person who's about to take over the business, or some other format. You probably work in accounting, you handle the bank statements, but you were maybe unaware of, hey, we defaulted, or hey, we have a past default with the judgment in place, or hey, we've actually caused fraudulent activity, we've manipulated bank statements. So whenever I ask these questions, you may not necessarily know that, but the other people do. So what saves us a lot of energy and time is when I get this across and I get the feedback right away, so we don't start an application. When you default on a loan for not being able to repay it back and pay enough of it back on time, it causes every lender, especially the very A top tier lenders, to not want to work on your file, and you cannot get a loan, a cash advance, or of any sort. An SBA 7A loan, you can forget about it, because defaults are like crazy when they look at those. No matter if it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 is excessive. 3 wouldn't even have happened. It'd be crazy that you default on 3, unless you're going through lenders who you're trying to get an advance here, you're trying to get another one here, you're in a 3rd position, 4th position, now you've defaulted on all of these. That's how you get into multiple defaults. So whenever we're speaking, I'm going to ask those questions. It can be on a call, it could be on an email, it could be in a quick text message, direct messenger, but I want to make sure I get that point across to each and every one of you, because you may have been in that position. You may be looking out for funding, but you're thinking, why don't I get approved? Well, you have a default. It's underneath my personal business. It's in your personal business. And the problem with that is you cannot just get funding anywhere. Honestly, what happens is a low tier lender at the very, very bottom, D+, they're going to look at your file and say, yeah, we can work with them or her. We can give them, though, what they're not looking for. We'll probably give them like $5,000 for a very low term and a very high rate. But this is for them to prove to us that he can make the payments, or she can. And then what happens thereafter, maybe they give you a little bit more wiggle room when they say, hey, you paid off the 8,000 on this 5,000 that we expected. Now we can give you double. We'll give you 10,000 and see if you can pay back 15,000, 10 or 18,000. Is that doable? And we only see that based off your bank statements, based off of your history, based off of the projections, based off of what you currently have now, your story that we get in contact with through underwriting and more. High Uplift. Yeah, I'll do my best. I am a bit crunched with emails, as you know yourself too. So I'm working through emails right now, and I'll get back to those of you as well who haven't been responded back to. I know I'll get somebody probably in here later who goes, well, you didn't respond back to my email. And it may be somebody who doesn't know the process. So it's okay if that happens. I'm not upset with you. So those are some of the expectations, and I process lots of loans and cash advances, equipment financing, SBA loans, everything, just about every day. I had some news earlier from a few clients who've defaulted. And sometimes I don't have that information up front. Sometimes a business owner won't tell me they defaulted. Some of these cases have been that. Other ones, they haven't. They're upfront about it, and they have questions about it that I will answer. So another thing that I want to jump into really quickly before we go into the EIDL, and I made a video on this the other day, so you guys can head to the bio, click on the link, and there might be a video in there where you can look through the SBA and you can go through my actual channel on YouTube. We're one of the fastest growing YouTube channels in the business lending space. And when I say we're, honestly, I don't want to be the one who takes 100% credit, but it is just me who's doing it. So if there were more people, you would sure be well aware of who I work with. I work with direct lenders, partnerships where we actually have financial advisors, and a lot of that is much more valued right now, and it will be continuously in the future, because think about it. When you work in-house with one of us, when we work with a set of lenders, a set of underwriters and providers, you're getting a more organized view, right? The partnerships that we built aren't necessarily always going to be the best for somebody who goes direct lending. It might be in their best benefit to go here. And those who think that direct lending and going to, I'm not going to start naming those sources that I've partnered with as well, they're not going to take a very good look at your profile. They're going to look at it and go, hey, we're not going to give them the benefit of this. We heard their story, but this, they don't actually work with, they work with Michael, who's been really helping us, but this is the way I operate right now. Instead, you could have been seen for a different offer. Somebody else who probably offers less would have came in and said, hey, I can offer you an extra 10 to 15,000. Oh, okay. But because you didn't see that, but because maybe I submitted you to one direct lender with the criteria, now you missed out. So there is a huge place for when you're working with these online marketplaces, but be careful of which ones you go to. And I'm not going to start naming them. I don't want to get in trouble. But I got a lot of responses, and I'm going to go respond to somebody who got an offer from, I won't start the name, it starts with an L. I'll just say that much. You guys probably know who I'm speaking about. And he wants me to go over the offer he was presented, and I saw everything. I saw the terms, I saw the rates, I saw the amount he was given, and he wants me to give him an assessment and understand if there is maybe something better for him. And so I'm going to be speaking to him, sending him an email hopefully here soon with quite a few more people. As 2 o'clock comes, that's when I'll get caught up on emails. So the thing you want to do is, one, be honest, but two, I'm not saying you're not, two, ask the person who's in charge of the business about their financials. If it's not you, I want to know. Like, have you defaulted? You may not know. You might give me a different answer. Okay, but they know that answer. Okay, how many times did they default? Who did they default with? And what actually ended up happening back then? What is the story? Why did it happen? That's more information that I need to gather. And so secondly, there's another situation when you're trying to consolidate more of a cash advance, I'm going to say. So let's start from cash advances and then consolidating those cash advances or unsecured term loans into an SBA loan, which is a 7A. I've had a lot of people, not just one. They actually came in a bundle, to be honest with you. We figured out it was more of a bundle as I spoke to them more. So if you have a cash advance, you have 3 positions, 4 positions, 2 positions, and you want to take that cash advance payment and turn it into an unsecured term loan where you're not paying it on a daily or a weekly. Perhaps you're paying it back on a monthly, because that's what a lot of business owners want to do. They think going from daily to or weekly or daily to weekly, that's another adjustment that can happen in time if you started off daily. Sometimes weekly, it's for cash advances. You think that by going from a daily to weekly to a monthly repayment will solve all the problems. And in many ways it will, because of how you get paid from your customers. On what terms? How many times do you actually already deposit into your checking account? So all of these little things, if there's fluctuations, it may not make more sense to go on a monthly repayment and pay a lump sum when you can't even manage cash flow. So daily and weekly, you may think it also hurts, which it does. It can. If you're in a situation where you're not using this funding for growth and expansion, by any means it will. For the most part, it will hurt because you're not using this as growth. You're using it as, I just need to have funds in my pocket for whenever I need to use it. I have the season coming up. Well, let's see, a line of credit may work, but do you qualify for one? No, there are many reasons why you didn't qualify. You probably defaulted, and that's one of many reasons. And I'll try to get into that as we go. But if you have advances, for example, you want to move from a daily or a weekly to a monthly, and you have 3 or 4 positions, what's going to happen? Most people come in on a second to fourth position. They can do that. Above four positions is pretty difficult. You have to look at a very, very low tier lender who can give you the minimal amount of funding that you're looking for. And then we have to look at and see what other positions you have. And we have to say, oh, well, you already have one for $100,000 here. You have one for $60,000 there. You have one for $30,000. So we can't pay off debt like that. No lender is coming in. And there may be some, you have to find them. And it has been like this in the past, way in the past. And there have been changes. So no lender is coming in to service that debt, to take it off your shoulders, to give you even more debt on that monthly payment that they're going to give you. And they're not going to want to pay off your third, second, and first position to bring you into a monthly, add on more debt on top of it. Even if you're paying off your advances with like $10,000 a week, 10, 20, 30,000 a week, what you have to look at is you have to have a consolidation. To get a consolidation, you have to pay over 50% of the balance. If you haven't paid 50% and above of the balance, no other lender is willing to come in and say, hey, we're going to pay off those 2 cash advances underneath an SBA loan. Or when it comes to a monthly, they might not even say, hey, you only have 2 advances now. You're way above the 50%. We don't want to pay this yet until you get to underneath 100,000, underneath 50,000 or something like that. Under 30,000, very low, and you only have 1 position. So by the time you paid off 2 positions and you're only on 1 position, you've paid off more than 50% of the balance. Perhaps you have like 10,000 remaining. That may then be more justifiable for the lender to say, hey, we can get you an unsecured term loan for, let's say, 15 months. Now you fall between 1 to 2 years. Before you got 8 months or 6 to 8 months. Now you're getting 15 months. And this time around, we can look at getting you maybe $250,000. Wow. Okay. Instead of getting one over here for $150,000, another one over here for $200,000, then another one for $30,000, we're over here then saying, hey, if you work with us, with one lender, especially with the providers that we can bring you, instead of getting 3 advances, you don't want that. You don't want to go from one company to the next. If you're stacking as well, you want to avoid that. And so if we give you $250,000, and that's being fairly good about it, can we give you more? Yes, but we have to be also conservative in understanding that you have these other payments and what you are already paying. What's your repayability when we look at all that information? These are numbers that I can put together for you too, and I speak with my underwriters on. So $250,000, we can get you in an unsecured line of credit now because maybe you only have 1 position with the MCA. But you only have $10,000. Well, we can come in and pay that off and bring you over here underneath $250,000 on a monthly repayment. Or what a lender will then do is say, you have to pay off your first position. Pay it off completely. Once this is done in the next month, it'll be paid off maybe in September or October because you're close to the deadline there. Hey, then I'll come in. We'll help you get $250,000, maybe $300,000 to $500,000. And then what happens is now that opens the door for an SBA loan. That opens up terms of 5, 7 to 10 years in working capital. What would that do for your business? even if you weren't going to use all those funds at once, at least you have 5, 7 to 10 years you can take money out of and use it how you choose for your business. But because you built the foundations correctly, because you moved, you didn't go and find another position. And another example of this is this. If we've moved into a fourth position, and we said, hey, we're going to, based off of the 80,000 or the 60,000 you received there, the 200,000 that's paid more off than 50% of it already, you have another one for 150,000, you only have this remaining balance. This one in the third position at 30,000 will be paid off next month completely, and you're paying off 20 to 30,000 a week, 100,000 plus per month. Okay, you've paid well over the balance within a month to 2 months. Well, we can come in a fourth position and give you maybe 30 to 40,000, and while you're paying that off, you can possibly pay it off in 1 to 2 months. Early payment discounts, no prepayment penalties. You pay it off in 1 to 2 months. And by that time, we're hoping that the other advances you have been either fully paid, is what we want to see, those 3 other positions, and you have at least one remaining, or none. For a lender to say, hey, after 1 to 2 months, we can come in now and revisit the case and pay it off. You can consolidate this first position that you had, maybe at the remaining fourth position, which was the 30K. Boom, you're in. But a lot of you guys, this is the game. This is how you play it. You don't go, oh man, I received an offer here, now I'm going to go get the most amount of funding I can get there, but I really needed an extra 100,000. Let's see if I can get it elsewhere. You maybe do get approved, but guess what? How credible are the sources you are going to? Just because you've heard them online, just because you've seen their advertisements, doesn't mean they are the best. Some of these lenders are just looking out for themselves, let's be honest, and the company as well, to make money. So they see you already struggling, and they're going to be like, I'm going to add another second position. They won't give you more than what you can get, but they're still going to give it to you, you not knowing that you shouldn't be picking up more. Work with the one lender, pay off about 50% of it, look at refinancing, or when you usually pay off 50% of the balance, then we could look at giving you more funds. Add-on funds is what we like to call it. And if there's a case of refinancing, if there's a later case of consolidation, that's what we work at. But you want to be stuck with one lender if you can, and you work with them through thick and thin, because they're going to open up the door. They may be saying, hey, we got you 100,000. You paid it off for about 8 months now. Well, we can give you an additional 50,000. Would you like that? Wow, I couldn't even get that 50,000 elsewhere. They would have probably given me just 2,000 extra. So it's all about building the relationship. Now, going away from this, and I can go even deeper on the EIDL loan. So I made a video the other day on the repayments. So you want to go and make payments starting in October. I think it's the initial 30,000, and then it becomes $250,000 or so thereafter. So October, November, December could be your first payment. So that's what I would start buckling on if you have an EIDL loan, because the deferment isn't coming back. There's no indication of it. I would hear at this point if it were to come back maybe in the next year. So make sure you're making those payments back to your account. And so you want to go through the CAFS account system, set that up, and then be able to go to sba.gov/pay and make those payments. And I made a video on this yesterday, I believe. Yeah. And I showed you guys on screen, like, what are the steps? Where should you go look? I didn't go all 100% on the CAF system and like what it would look like. But if you've been in there, you know. And so those are the expectations with the EIDL loan. We're giving no indication if there's going to be an increase again, if they're going to be applying, having more people apply. They've been coming back and forth with saying, okay, can we get more people who didn't request an increase on May 6th to start a new application? But that's way beyond the people who have already been processed and those who are still stuck in the queue. And so there is no evidence, that this is going to be moving forward from what I've heard from the officers, from what they're telling me. But the bright side of it is they've considered all of the reconsiderations, the loan modifications. They looked through them thoroughly. And over 40,000 that were reconsidered were given a no. But perhaps you didn't receive communication of it. And that's where the problem lies. So it's not a misunderstanding of, hey, did they fill out these, did they help us out and look through our file? Yes, they did, but where's our response? Perhaps you did. You probably didn't look in your email thoroughly in your spam box. Perhaps you didn't. And hopefully that comes out in the future, and that's what I would like to see a lot more from them. So PPP funding, just forgiveness right now, a lot of that is happening. I don't want to get too in depth. It's very self-explanatory. The employee retention tax credit, that's one I would be looking at getting if you can get up to $26,000 per employee as a refundable tax credit. It doesn't have to be paid back. It's in purposes of payroll for the 2020 to 2021 quarters, and the kind of impact that you had because of supply chain issues, partial or full shutdown, government mandates, gross receipts went down. There's a few more that have come up, but that is an option if you guys want to see how you guys can get up to $26,000 per employee. But it does take about 6 to 8 weeks for you to actually receive your funds. I created a full video on this, like about over an hour's worth. If you guys want to see the full video on the application breakdown, I think it's still in the bio. But I showed you guys the requirements. I showed you guys the process, and all the questions you may have are answered in that video. So, grant opportunities. More states are opening up through the SSBCI program, the State Small Business Credit Initiative. And I would be looking at your state. I'm not going to start naming those right now in this video who have opened up. I did that the other day. But SSBCI, and then next to it, your state. And then go through it. It's through the Treasury Department. And you should see organizations. And if you don't, that's because your state hasn't been given the money to release those programs. So be on the lookout for it. I'll keep updating you guys, perhaps with another live video come Thursday. That's when I go live, everyone, and you'll get further information. So I'm going to open this up for those of you who have questions. Feel free to voice them in the comments, and we'll go for a little bit of time. Oh, one other thing that I want to make notice of, if this is you, I'm not saying a specific name. I'm attacking the behavior when I say this. A lot of people they go ghost. So I took energy and time to explain something to you, which is fine. It's information if that's how you only want to take it. But if you're going to be in motion and never take any kind of action, then it's hard for me to put enough energy into helping you. If all you're seeking is information, I get it. I'll give it to you. But will there be any kind of action as a result to this? And if so, when? Would it be something in the immediate future? Would it be something more in 3, 6, 9 months, 12 months beyond? But you just want the information and have it when you're ready? I get that. Now, it's when you take the second step and you start an application. We've gone through underwriting. We approved you. I have feedback that I've been trying to give to you. Maybe you answered back and you heard from it, but then I have to follow up for the final underwriting, and you just have become very unresponsive. Like I told somebody today that I consider it disrespectful. Honestly, it is. I know you probably feel the same way. You care about somebody personally, you care about them and their business, for them to only ghost you and never give you feedback. That is a major concern. I'm sure you're busy, like all of us are. I'm busy every day. Guess what I did from my 10 to 11 time slot today? I didn't get to do everything that I wanted to because I had to talk to somebody on the phone. And then after that phone call, I had to call one of my advisors and somebody in the underwriting to see if we can get something processed rather quickly before tomorrow. So 15 to 30 minutes gone there, and then I had to do a few other pieces. I had to move my schedule around. But I adjust for what's important, for what's priority number one. And this may not be your first priority. Like I was saying to my mother not too long ago, yeah, Mondays are probably the busiest days for business owners because they're trying to get caught up to speed. They're not looking at funding in the morning. Like I received a phone call from somebody today on my team. Guess what? I didn't answer the phone. Why? Because I'm getting up. They're maybe on Eastern time. I'm on Western time. When I get up, I'm not looking at my phone. I'm drinking a glass of water. I'm stretching, saying 3 things that I'm grateful for. I'm meditating, stretching a little bit more, perhaps maybe some yoga poses. go into meditation thereafter, maybe a quick workout, or I go downstairs then, I read my books, and then I get to work. I do some of the tasks I need to get done. Come 9 o'clock or whatever time it is that I'm scheduled to give him a call, I'm going to give it to him. Or if it was very important, like it was do or die, I mean, I can understand that. But I'm still going to want to go through my routines. So, not to get too off on a tangent though, please be respectful of our energy and our time. I have some appointments that I couldn't even get to today because I had to respond back to my underwriters, and we had an in-depth conversation about a few clients, and that ate up some of my time. So if you scheduled an appointment with me, I do apologize for you guys. One moment. Okay, so I have a past client who sent me an email. Let me see this. That's weird. So he's telling me that a company sent him a contract, but he's not sure if it's legit. And he needs my help. So I'm going to look into it deeper after this. Maybe you're in here. I won't say your name. But yeah, I have to take a much deeper look at that. I see the DocuSign right here. And you want to be careful. You're not submitting that information to just anybody. Here, let me do a quick search on them right here. Because this is a very weird looking company. Oh, no way. It can't be. Hold on, let me go through this. They're saying they're giving them that much for a line of credit? That looks faulty. So it looks like one of my previous clients who I built a good personal and business relationship with, sounds like they were going around shopping. See, without me knowing these things, you're gonna go shop around. I did that in the very beginning. I don't do it anymore because I know what lenders to go to. If I need funding for my company, I know I'm gonna go to this direct lender instead of that one. Or I know that if I don't have a specific lender, but I want to see who can give me the best offer without it hurting my credit score and without it just being shotgun approach, I'm gonna go down this route. So I'm looking at a file right now. I'm going to type them in. Just so you guys know, I'm very, very familiar with just about every lending company out there and how they operate, what their underwriting guidelines are. And they're always changing, especially in today's market. But there's sometimes a new company that comes up. Here, let me see if I can click the link here. We're kind of over the time now, so if you guys have any questions, please feel free to bring them up. What already triggered an alarm to me was knowing that they are from New York. So whenever I hear a company is lending from New York, maybe it's Florida, it raises red flags. I don't jump to the conclusion without evidence and facts if they are legit or not. But if I see those types of states, I'm a bit conservative. More New York these days than anything, because how they operate out there can be very crazy, and there's no information of them online. Nothing whatsoever. And over here I'm seeing, and I have to look at this deeper when I'm not on this. What? Here, I'm gonna put this address in and see what it brings up. See, there's no information of them. So I'm gonna go to my lender here. So I usually do a very in-depth amount of work to find the companies. And sometimes I'll even call them and see how they operate so I know their underwriting guidelines. And then sometimes they're very under the radar. They don't have a number, or they do, but they don't give you information, or they just don't get to a phone call. So this is a bit concerning to me whenever I see this. Let me see. It's more concerning that I have a client who's actually still shopping around because perhaps they didn't like the offer they were given. But this is the reality. Why, thanks. You tried for a business loan and was a hard hit on my personal credit. First off, what type of business loan was this? And through who? Because there are hard hits on your personal credit out there. It just depends on the service. Not all lines of credits are hard pulls. A lot of it can be a soft pull. But if they need to look deeper, a lot of the times they'll ask you, hey, we got to look deeper into this. So do you give us your authority to pull your credit? So where is the best place to get a loan for your business? Great question. A very broad question too. So I'm going to give you a bit of a broad answer. Anywhere that is trustworthy. Anywhere that best fits your needs. Like, I can't say this lender is better than this one unless I have information. And so everybody in here watching, if you guys want an evaluation and analyzation on what your best funding option and options can be, given your circumstances, there's a questionnaire in the bio you guys can fill out to get more information. Submit it, and I'll get it in my email. I will look through it, and I'll give you a response back via email, send you a quick text message, so mobile number is preferred. Put all the information appropriately. Don't just say for as a time in business. Give me a years or months. Give me a FICO credit score. I'm not a creditor. This information is not used against you. It's very safe and secure. I promise you that 120,000 million%. No matter how many times I say it, some people won't think of it like that. But it's for me to gather information in our underwriting and what specific lenders are looking for when they're like, yeah, we have these details, so this lender will then say this. If I don't have the information, I can't do much with it. Oh, no way. That cannot be legit. First 24 months you got interest free. Did you give this up with collateral to get it? And then I get the at first and then the after usually works a lot with credit cards. But this is a line of credit that's revolving. After 24 months, that's such a low APR. I want to see this. Whoa, that's crazy. Yeah, there's no information of them online. Unless you look through 3 different pages of Google. Like with me, you guys can find me on there. But with companies like this, they're so discreet. I just want to know how he found them. It could have been that they came to him, probably received an email, and then opened it. So here's what I'm going to do. I know it's not, I know this, but I've always want to double check this because my lenders know this answer. I'm sure of it, like 110%, but I'm going to still check anyways. There are a lot of companies who they're just after your money. So I don't know exactly if they have application fees, any kind of hidden costs. Usually these kind of companies do, but I need to make sure they just don't have any information besides the information he sent me. Hold on, let me see this. Look, there's no phone number. They're just asking him to DocuSign. I know what this is because I've seen documents like that. I'm gonna try to do that more often, and I don't want to like put full people on blast like that, but that's what it takes. All right, let's see. No, I can't help you get the PPP loan process. That's not what's happening right now. Even if I had wanted to, I can't do any of that. Just the repayments. You want to make sure by come October, you have your CAF system portal, your account set up. It's running, and then you can start making payments through to the SBA. And I made a full video on this on how to do it all, so I won't spend time too much on that right now. But that's what you want to refer to. One second. Yeah, this is a weird file. That's so much they're giving them. I know it's not real, but I want to just double check. That's crazy. Yeah, I already saw these documents too, and I already know the conclusion. Especially how they're limiting the amount that he's getting for the interest rates. Wowzers. The fact that it's even, geez, that's crazy. Trying to see how far ago he applied with us. This was back in June, so it can't be that far back. So he's given this offer June. He didn't want it. Yeah. There we go. So I can do it myself, but I wanted to verify this with someone else because they have a lot more years than I do, and perhaps they've come across this company in the past. What happens is a lot of them they take themselves out of the directories. See, that one's Boston. That's Waterway. Yeah, sounds too good to be true, but double checking. Did you for an increase? I'm not sure if you're still in here. But if you submitted everything by the May 6th deadline, I mean, I won't count it out because you're already in the system. It's just right now they're not going to be any new distributed funds. Andrea, I know I've been holding out on your question. Any new grants or loans? Plenty. I'm not going to start saying one or the other. I'm not going to make it about that in this video. I know if you go to YouTube, you'll find a lot of content on this. You can do a quick search, go to grants.gov. Look through your community. Those are two quick ways to do it. SSBCI and the next two of your states, and you'll find some organizations that have been pumped into a lot of money. So if you can jump on, those are the ones that I would be jumping on right away because it's fresh. People are receiving money. There may have already been people already in like line if they knew them, but that's where I would begin. And there's a grant opportunity document that I'm going to keep updating. It's in the bio. Hey, how are you doing? Yeah, don't. You can't. It's your mission to not give up. Either one of you in here do not feel like today. Prime example. Default. Some of them they didn't even tell me or they didn't even know the answer to it. Others they told me up front. Sorry, your file won't work. It won't get processed. Energy and time saved. So what is your alternative if you have a default? Well, there may be one lender out there who's willing to give you just a little bit. Nothing like what you wanted or you could have been approved for. And they're going to give you the worst rates and the worst terms, bar none. Your repayment is going to be a lot higher. And it's usually that the repayment is higher than the benefit. But that's the reality. You defaulted once. You defaulted twice. How do you deal with all of that? Well, for one, you don't get multiple cash advances. That's not how this works. It's not a cash advance. Don't treat it like a credit card, guys. Don't treat it like, well, I only got a $5,000 limit. Where else is the $10,000 going to come from? Your education? Oh, I forgot about that. See, this is where you start learning how to use more than one credit card. But you're treating like I have 3 multiple credit cards and then I'm using these limits and you're even getting yourself into even more debt. And now you have 2 to 3 positions. You're in even more debt. And you want us to give you more on top of all this? So what you have to understand is if you're going to get multiple positions, don't stack. Don't even get multiple positions. And if you're going to get one, pay off more than 50% of the balance on the first one. and then think about getting another one. If you don't get a big addition, you don't get it refinanced, consolidated, you may need an additional $10,000. But you know what's going to happen. You pay that $10,000 in less than a month to 2 months. If you can, they might give you 4 months, 6 months. Pay it off in 1 to 2 months. Get rid of it. Less positions you want. Yep, like I thought. I got my response back from a lender or from an underwriter, and just like I was thinking. See, I already knew the answer to this. I just had to make sure. They gave me the same exact stuff that I already knew in 3 different sentences right here. So, what I'm going to do more comfortably now that I know the answer to this. And I'm a little upset with this individual because you're shopping around. Don't be shopping around. I told you we have the best lenders. A lender is going to see that you've tried to apply somewhere else or that you've received contracts. Nobody wants that. No lender is going to say, oh, God, this guy's going to fall foolish to another offer, let alone they're applying for more. They received an offer. They're highly considering this. Did they not listen to what we were trying to tell them before? That's everything that I'm seeing here. And I see this time and time again. So I'm going to give a response back. In the meantime, feel free to ask anything. Yeah, see, this is pretty self-explanatory. So in this case, because my higher up, they have more information. I have the knowledge already to go and give somebody an answer on this. But you always want to, in this space, turn to somebody who has probably been in it much longer than you have. So the scenario here is, this is not a direct funder like they have showed up to be and like the client thinks they are. And what they do is they will take your file and they will shop it everywhere. This means that person is going to be getting their files sent to like 10 different places, 20 different places, getting calls, emails, text messages, whatever, the whole workaround. And their credit perhaps is going to be having a lot of soft inquiries and hard inquiries without them knowing it. And so if you're looking for a line of credit, it doesn't do you any good. This is what a lot of you guys are falling prey to, even with some of the most reputable sources. And then people go and they think, well, like the situation I gave you guys earlier. I said, I have a guy who can get a 4th position. I have multiple people. 3rd position, 4th positions. Even if we gave you just like 20,000, we were looking to pay that off in about 1 to 2 months. You're paying back 27 to 30,000 on that. Maybe you have early payment. We get early payment discounts. You pay it off quickly. In that time, the other positions are paid off. Now you only have 1 remaining. And it's probably not that 30K or the 20K we just gave you. It's much more easier to work with. Yeah, see, see, I'm not being negative. I'm truthful with people. And if you don't like it, feel free to look anywhere. But those doors are going to be shut. If we couldn't get you approved for that, what makes you think we can get it for you now? It's not even been enough time to consider you for it. I think this was the same. Hold on. I pretty much know that's the case. Let me search this up. Yeah, he didn't even take the time to do this. This is the prime example of a client who doesn't follow through. See, I would always ask for credit reports, consumer. I haven't been asking for it a lot because I trust you guys. It's not that I don't trust anyone, it's just I get a lot of people who waste my energy and my time. And I don't want somebody to come in and say, yeah, my credit reports look squeaky clean. There's nothing wrong with it. Like this situation, I'm asking them, did you look through your consumer credit reports? The next part I may ask, send them to me so I can look at them. That's the perfect example what I've been saying in the past. Hey, how are you doing? Welcome back. So I already spoke about the EIDL. Before the EIDL loan, like there's the repayment process. So come October, November, December, that's when some of your guys' first payment will be due. And then the rest of it is going to come trickling fast. So be ready for that. Have the cash system account set up. And then make sure you're going through the SBA.gov/pay sites and you're making the payments with the 1201 form and a few of these other things. So I made a video on that that goes into it more in depth. And then the second part, EIDL loan increases, we're unsure of it even coming back. There's no indication. None of the loan officers have given me anything. The directors, anybody in that hasn't said, hey, Michael, yeah, and they can't always disclose everything. But I also spoke about consolidating these cash advances, these daily/weeklies, and coming into an unsecured term loan, the principal and the interest and how much of a balance you have, and just what the possibilities will look like, and then just being honest to me about if you defaulted, please tell me you defaulted. And if you don't know it, hey John, hey Sally, or have somebody else. And I get it, I don't blame you, but just get that information, you know? Sometimes it goes without being said. Sometimes they don't tell you that they defaulted. Sometimes they don't tell you that they manipulated the bank statements. You're only thinking, yeah, we're good. But then when we go through underwriting, oh, well, we thought we could have got you 100,000 and above, but it looks like you defaulted on 1 or 2 loans. What's going on? So the key point is to be honest. I don't want time wasted. All right? This isn't necessarily time wasted that I'm speaking to a person right now on, but we're revisiting something that if you didn't take care of it, in your next email will be very evident to me. If you didn't take care of this, don't think we can get you that offer now. We told you why. We even gave you specific information. But I raised my revenue. Yeah, that's cool. But credit eligibility score or minimal inquiries. And it's not just one person. There's multiple people today that I'm looking at that. And I sent individuals, hey, there's a credit repair here. You saw what happened in your consumer credit reports. I looked at them too. We need to get on it. Not 2 months later, yeah, I'm really looking for maybe a line of credit and it's not going to happen. So I make it very clear, everyone, like, we're dealing with a business and we're dealing with money. I have the answers, but if you don't give me anything, I can't give it to you. You mean the SSBCI program for grants? Yeah, the EIDL isn't happening right now. So I really want to hear back from certain individuals. Yeah, it's not happening right now. Let's see over there. Spam. I'll have to follow up via email with a few people today, so I might do that in the next 10 minutes. Like, I love you guys. You guys are an extended family. I just don't want you guys to look at this as a business transaction. That's not what I look at it as. I've said this 100 times if you've seen me before. I care about you. I told the guy today, it's not your fault. So I don't look at this as like you're guilty of it. You just didn't get the information you needed from someone. So we would have waited all this time, or we could have saved this energy and time. The quick back and forth text or the quick back and forth call. It was just a misunderstanding. Oh, no worries. Not a new program. The EIDL, as we know, isn't performing the way it should right now for a lot of reasons. One big one. Just the State Small Business Credit Initiative. Excuse me. And that's where you can find different organizations within the communities, within your state. So SSBCI, and then next to it put your states, and then you can find it there. Like, too many tire kickers, guys. Like, I get things done. Like, I have a system. I have a team. You are welcome. And if some of you guys, like, I was saying this the other day to my pops and my mom, like, in the business that I'm in, like my business, this is the business right here. I get people who go, yeah, okay, you got it. Or I'll send you that information. And they're very serious. But, okay, a week passes. Where's my 2021 12 months of bank statements? Like I had asked you about a month ago. Well, how about the 2021 tax return? Oh, I knew you were going to take time on that. That's fine. It's okay. What about your 2020s? Oh, well. So you needed funds in 2 days, right? No, I actually needed it in 5 days. Why didn't you tell me this 2 days ago? Hello? Like, I don't want to treat you guys like little kids, but that's what I have to do to a lot of people. I literally have to, like, hand-holding is fine. I don't mind that. I'm just saying, like, how much hand-holding? Like, do I have to go to your home and download your bank statements for you and give you a nice pat on the back? Like, I love you guys. It's just not something that I want to be doing too much of. And so if you're serious about getting funding with the best lenders, the best providers out there, bar none, building the best relationship up so you can go from like 30,000 to 500 to 600,000, better terms, and then you jump into an SBA loan after that or even before that, look with the best people. But if the answer is not, I'm going to take one here and then I'm going to go get another loan there, and then Jack and Sally said they recommended me this, and then good Lord, like, and then I find out you have all of these when you come to me, and I can't help you. The only thing I can do is give you a fourth position, a third position. Nobody's going to pay off and consolidate all these. The SBA may be able to then say, hey, we can consolidate those 2 merchant cash advances. We can consolidate that first position. You've already paid over 50% of the balance. You demonstrated the use, your significant use for these funds make more sense. than where it was about 3 months ago. Why not? But when you come to us with 3 months later, you come back and you submit the questionnaire again, and then I'm like, no, there's another month of bank statements because we couldn't get it done in the last 2 weeks. It took 4 weeks when it should have been done in 3 days. You needed your funds the first week, and then the first week changed into 2 weeks. I'm not trying to laugh about it, but it's like, man, just please, let's make each other's lives easy. Let's not complicate anything. And I say it very nicely, not in a negative way. It's just boom after boom after boom. And like, I have a person right now who I'm going to go help him with his offer he received from a company that I can't name him. Okay. I don't want to get in trouble. So I'm going to look at that. It's right here. I'm actually looking at it as we speak. And I might give you guys a brief example of this. So he was just approved through blank. I can't say the name. Not accepted it yet. And so this is a very common thing people are doing. Don't just find an ad on Facebook and click it, because I know you're curious to find out. Whatever your situation is, you get through it, you receive an offer. Speak it with me. I'll help you understand it better if it makes sense or not. He's saying that he hasn't accepted it yet. And this is like what everybody thinks. It's hard to even think about getting so much of a higher interest rate. Let's just say, I'm not going to give you the exact amount, but let's just say it's between 40% to 50%. And some of you guys may have dropped like flies here, like, oh, this guy's going to try to sell me a 45. I'm not selling you anything. But what I do want to sell you on is the fact that education is what's going to triumph all these hard troubles you're going through. If you don't think a 40% interest is right, then we have to reverse engineer and ask ourselves, do you have any kind of collateral, any kind of invested equity we can take from? Oh, well, no. Well, what is your FICO credit score? What is your revenue? What is your time in business? Oh, well, what's your average daily bank balance? What are your daily sales? What is your starting and your ending bank balance? How much are you depositing per month? Oh, well, that's the difference. Boom. Somebody who's depositing $50,000 and have a revenue of $45,000, they deposited $20,000 every week, or let's say more about 15 to cut it short, 15 by 4, 15 by 3 weeks, is better than somebody who deposits once and at a very low amount. So after I know their fundability details, I think they already submitted my questionnaire, so I have to take a look at it. And I'm going to verify that. Here he is. Okay. So now that I have his details, let me look. Well, obviously, there's a reason why. Look at your annual gross. I see the average daily bank balance. That's the primary reason. The fact that you were given enough says a lot. Let me see over here. Yeah, you were always going to be given between 40 to 50% interest, for sure. Your credit stinks. You don't have any business credit established, even though we don't look for that. I know that was a cash advance offer, based off just looking at that. Your monthly sales, your average, but you don't keep enough of a daily bank or an average daily bank balance. You're not depositing too much per day. So the fact that they even gave you justifiable, I can say that. I can't say the amount. I'm just going to say it's between 30 to 40,000. You should be putting an advance there. And it's not all he needed to be successful with it. Okay. You have a lot of time. Well, I mean, if the time, it's one thing you get a shorter term and you're not interested in it because it's not enough time to finish your project or your projects. I get it. And for cash flow, it's another thing to say, hey, yeah, I can do this. And then say it's too short. So that won't work for them. Yeah, it's not justifiable. Okay, so I'm gonna have to give him a response back to that here soon. Yeah, the time in business doesn't have enough. So this is, see, he's not going to get a equipment financing. He doesn't even have, like, without business credit established. Yeah, he's not getting it. He could double his amount if he were to have business credit established with his revenue. So we give him the equipment through traditional equipment financing, and I know he knows this. And then we can add extra working capital on top for the projects that he needs. So that's what I'm going to give him. I'm going to give him that explanation. I can actually do it right now. Right here. Actually, I'll do it in time when I'm off this live. Does anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns? Like what you guys are seeing here, it's real. It's not fake. Look, I can't show you guys what's on the screen right now because it's confidential. So let me move this over to, let's see. No, not that one. A lot of this is confidential. Okay. Here. See, I'm just watching a video on YouTube there. But the other tab's open. I can't show you that. It's crazy. I'm like, insane. There's so much misunderstanding in the lending space. Hey, like this similar situation, she may get the same amount as the other person did. Has no business credit established. I'm sure they're looking for a vehicle. Didn't even tell me if they have an existing business loan or not. That doesn't help me. No business credit, as I said. Sales, revenue, strong. Average daily bank balance, strong. But is it really that? It's another question. Once we look at the bank statements. But with that in mind, she has similar details to what the other individual had. So instead of probably getting between 30 to 40,000 low, she probably can get closer to 40K and above. Credit isn't good, so that usually means you're getting possibly, with what it stands at, could be 7 to 11 months, unlike the other person who got 4 to 6 months. So this is a lot of the stuff that happens every day, guys. If the offer comes and you guys don't like it, you don't have enough of a need for it, one, there's not enough of a benefit, you didn't get the exact terms you needed for cash flow and a few other purposes. And above all of it is maybe you're misunderstanding with your finances. I'm not getting into Bitcoin mining. I don't really follow that world right now. And when people ask me about crypto, I don't necessarily follow it all at this moment. I don't want to get into that topic. Maybe in the future, NFTs, but I'm just not following it 100%. I'm focused on my businesses, and so a lot of people go crazy about all that. I see one person who jumps from one thing to the next and then starts Facebook posting about it. I'm like, weren't you just a CBD guy a minute ago? Now you're talking about NFTs for the last 2-3 weeks? Get over yourself. And so I get it. It's a lot of people pushing things, some MLM companies, and if you join me, then we can profit together. When really you're making money off of a recruit when they purchase more material instead of actually making money with. But that's not what I'm saying this is. It's just not something that I'm focused on. It's not a case of short-term versus long-term money either. See, I'm an investor. I don't just play anything for short-term gains and just rely on that. So I invest in the things that are going to happen in the future, not just a quick turnaround, and I'm going to make a quick profit off something. Yeah, it can be quick, and then it can also be longer term. And now this can open up a new funnel, but I'm not going down that route. I had to shut down a guy today for the business he was trying to acquire is profitable. I already did the numbers. And then I had to see what his details were, and they weren't qualifiable for an SBA loan. Okay, so here's the situation. So if you guys were listening to me earlier, I don't know if you're in here right now, but I was speaking about the individual who's now looking for a line of credit, the other company who was supposedly, yeah, they're not, because I already found that out. They're not a direct funder. You have to be careful with New York-based companies. Everything I already knew. But hey, he didn't respond back to my email, so perhaps this is a good sign that he changed his information, did it better. And I see he just completed the application right now, so I'm going to follow up with him. You guys are going to see what I'm doing in real time, and I'm going to walk you guys through it. So he submitted his application. It's completed and signed, everything dated. Sometimes it's online. A lot of it can be PDF, mostly online digital applications. They are applying for both the line of credit and the lump sum. So right here, now I'm going to go to my email and I'm going to follow up with him here and just make him well known that, hey, we received your information. We're verifying it all. And if it makes sense, we'll go find you the right offer. It's simple. Don't complicate the process. And we spoke about things before, and so if there's something that ever comes up, you need me to reemphasize it, man, feel free. Send me a quick text message. Hi, Michael, I have your number. Boom, send me a text. I care about you. And so now I'm in here in my emails. And he'll have to get removed from one because he was here already previously. Let me see if I already removed them from that segment. Look at his list here, and he has so much. So what I then do is I will take this over here. So I'm going to add an automation here. Gotta move this over. They moved something. Okay, I see what they did. There it is. Found it. So I'm gonna look through this file. So now that he has that, now I'm going to send them this information. Hi guys, welcome in. Let me see who gave me a no reply. No Bitcoin. Nice, that's what we have. Somebody who applied with my favorite name, which is my name. Let me see here. Yeah, he's not in my system. This makes sense. What is going on? So there are quite a few and some new ones coming up. Like I said before, I won't go in depth, especially in this video, on them. I'm not sure if you've heard me say this in the past, but please refer to the bio. There will be a grant opportunities document you can save, and there will be minority-owned business grants and business loans. Usually that one's for grants. And when we talk about business loans, I'm not going to say there's one specific, right? The services don't really categorize it that way. An SBA loan, a merchant cash advance, an unsecured term loan. What it comes down to are three things: credit, collateral, and cash flow. You can either have all three of them, or one of the three, or two of the three to qualify. So if you guys need help with this, please refer to the bio and you guys can get immediate access to all my free stuff. I work hard at this. Like, and I know I've been doing this live for quite some time, but I'm also getting stuff done. Yeah, it's strange to me. I have a individual who just went cold turkey. Like, just when I mean that, I say unresponsive. If you're in here listening, I won't say your name, but don't be this person. Don't be the same person either who goes through an application. They're getting evaluated for a large amount of an SBA loan, and we can't even send them a text message with them giving us a response back. No email, nothing. Not even the president of the company. Yeah, they're like, yeah, we can't get a hold of them. I get it. There's probably something, but we don't know. Like, at least say something. Like, hey, I'm rather busy right now. I'll follow up with you soon. You don't gotta give me a time. Just tell me you're gonna follow up with me. Just don't. Jesus, I call that, and I told one of the people today. I know you guys said this in the beginning, but again, it's disrespectful. It is unresponsible. It's disrespectful. It's not a courtesy thing. It's just difficult, especially when you build it with somebody who you have a personal and business relationship with, and they just kind of just, okay. And then you try to follow up with them in time, and they only looked at you as like a business transaction. That's not what I look at you guys like at all. And so when people come and go, it's like, you know you're building this relationship with me, right? You know I have access to the underwriters and the lenders. Yeah, but, you know, I get you're just doing this for your self-interest. I get it. But none of this meant anything? Like, you just thought this was, another insurance company? Or you thought I just looked at you as just a number? Well, okay. Like, I'm literally being honest. I get people who call me and text me, and I go, hey, how are you doing? I'm handling it. Boom, done. But don't start something you cannot end. If you expect communication from people in your company, set that standard high when you speak to people like myself. I will give you information. But don't think I'm going to go chasing you. I'm not saying you're that person either, by the way. What I'm saying is maybe you weren't taught correctly. Maybe you weren't shown how to communicate. Maybe you're not a communicator. I'm an introvert. It's hard for me sometimes to say the right words. It's hard. I see it here, but it doesn't always come out there, if you can relate. But you have to do this. Open your mouth. Tell me in one sentence, 3 words. Hi, I'm still alive. I'm okay. If there's nothing more that follows that, at least I know you're being responsive. Say, hey, I'm not interested anymore. Good. All right. But when you come back to me, I know I have a lot of people right now who are like, I sent you a text 3 months ago. You left me on scene. What's wrong? Like, no response whatsoever. I'm not hard on anybody. You just didn't give me a response. So you expect me to treat you different because you didn't respond back to me appropriately? But I'm going to be a servant to you? You got it all wrong. This is a business I run. It's not like I work for another owner. I work for myself independently. So I can choose the files I want to work on. And if you're the person who comes at this and goes, well, I'm going to drag it out for 3 years. Unless you needed it in 3 years, you're like, okay, that's fine. But a 3-year thing was supposed to be done in less than a week. Where did you go with all the rest of the documentation? Well, I was trying to get it prepared, but then something came up and I started looking at other lenders. Well, at least you're being honest with me. And let me correct you on what you're doing wrong. Perhaps you're doing something right. So I'll say it. But if you're just going in the wrong direction, I'm not going to laugh at it. It's just too much. I'm smiling because it's too much. You're too much of a character without knowing you are. It's like, hey, if I'm going to get a home equity line of credit, I'm going to go get it done. I know the numbers. I know what I'm going to walk into. I get feedback. I sit down. I rearrange this. I come back. I don't go, oh, I have the information. Now I'm going to go apply at another bank because I didn't like what I was given. Now I'm price shopping. That's what you're doing. You're price shopping. But a lot of people who do follow me already know this. So not everybody's in the same boat. Other people go, yeah, I appreciate you telling me this. If not, I was going to go find 10, 20 different offers. And the lenders see that in their system. I don't want to say which one. I don't want to be open too much about that. But truth be told, it'll come back to bite. I see it every day. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going to input a new subscriber in this sequence. And I'm going to find their profile there. So we go to add subscribers. And then we go to campaigns on this. Excuse me. So this one will go underneath the non-subscribers. See, that's the hard part. You have that. I like her name. It's a unique name. But who am I speaking to? Because the emails. So this is a case of this is a case of somebody else filling it out. And so we go over here. And today is the 9th, which is how she completed. That's what I love. I like to see when people do the 2 applications, not just 1. So I'll be sending her a follow-up text. I won't call her. At least today. She becomes unresponsive. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to look into the file. Okay, that's done. This campaign is taken care of, so we can go ahead and do that. Okay, now she'll be getting that follow-up from me. You guys, email is very, very important. Please check your emails. That's a huge, and it can be miscommunicated or it can get lost in translation. But make sure you're following up and looking at your emails. That's how I do a lot of things. So now I'm going to look at the other submission. Yeah. Good. Completed. Now I can send this information over so we can get some offers. See how simple that is? It's not complicated. A lot of the times these applications will ask you to submit your statements online and upload them into our portal so we can get them in our back end. If that's the case, follow through with it, please. And sometimes I'll ask for it from you and then I can upload them myself, or I can send them directly to the lender, excuse me. But don't complain. If you need help downloading those statements, more than happy to do it. 110%. I'm on board. But getting stuck and not doing anything about it, it's not an answer. You're a business owner. Figure it out. And so over here, I'm looking out through my Google Drive. Have some new bank statements that I had to go through today. So it's all in there for my clients. Over here, I hope the situation doesn't happen again where you just try to help him get he couldn't qualify for a line of credit. So we got him a good amount of funding. He might not get the same offers again because of what he did last time. So he's just going to dig himself a huger hole if he says no to it this time, even if it's a lump sum. And I just hope, because I told him the expectations. If he thinks otherwise, that's on him. That's his fault. The only way to fix that is to increase your revenue by a lot more than what it already is. And he has a lot already. It's just the lenders are not going to be so happy about it. I know it. They even reach out to me, Michael, the submission was done a month ago. Has your client's expectations changed? Yeah, I spoke to him. Hope he got it through. He said he did. See, this is also about putting me in the right position to help you guys. Hi, Andrea. How are you doing? I'm a business loan broker. So I am able to help businesses build, grow, expand, and even get out of a tight pinch through working capital, and to help them grow and expand their business, take it to the next level. That's what I'm able to do. Supply them with the right funding program, services, lenders, underwriters, a whole team to help them. Oh, most definitely. That's a huge thing. I actually just got reached back out by so I outsource it. I used to do it myself. Reason why is I have a lot of funding to take care of, like loads of it. Credit is a whole other thing you have to focus on its own. You cannot get distracted. So what I did is I partnered up with somebody, a CEO, who actually he texted me today. I have a very good connection with. He's an amazing guy. His name is Steve. I'll just say that. I won't get into everything. But he is an expert. He's been shown online. He has his own website. He has his own reputation and does a very good job. I have a guy who just got in the other day, and I have multiple people in it who've come in and out. They've stayed for the long term. So if you need help fixing it, and if you think it's a form of I need to fix my credit, not just here, I just need to get an Experian boost, those things, and you actually need to get things removed, disputed, then I believe I have it in the bio. If you want to go there, there should be a credit repair questionnaire. Fill that out. What I will say though is this. Let me find it first. I need to gather my information so I can input you into our system, and so the experts on us, we can revise it and look it over. So I have a separate credit repair service. So the best thing to do, let me ask you this. Are you also looking for business funding? Because I'm going to make this easier on you. Is it the reason you're trying to repair your credit? Okay. I bet that's the reason why. You're trying to repair your credit so you can get better funding. Yeah, so I'm looking at it right now. Hold on. Credit, business credit cards. I'm going to do this. Yeah, okay. So that's right here. Let me just click my link to make sure I didn't change anything. So in the bio, you can find the credit repair services that I offer. Yeah, it's right there. So I got it. Let me come back into this. And I made a video review, just so you know. Trucking company, oh yeah. Most definitely you're gonna want the credit repair. I don't know it all to the extent, but I know trucking companies. A lot of the owners. A lot of stuff. It's insane. But let me see right here. I have the file open. If you go to my bio, you're able to click the link. Some people have said that it doesn't go through for some reason. Could be something TikTok's doing, a glitch. But if you click that link, at the very bottom, you're going to see a lot of buttons. At the very bottom, actually, let me see. The fourth to last. So you'll run across a part where it says credit repair help. Click it. It'll take you to a YouTube video. And then you'll be able to see the information on credit repair. And then another thing you can do, my email, it is Michael, M-I-C-H-A-E-L, at viralfundingsolutions.com. Oh, and then one more thing too. So once you finish watching the video, if you feel comfortable enough, this is what I recommend, number one, to go through. Then in the description, you can click the link. That's where you'll then want to fill out the questionnaire. There will be a credit repair questionnaire. And just know this, it's going to ask for a bit of information. And it is very safe and secure with myself and our credit repair experts. So I will ask for and a lot of people will give me this. And it is confidential between you and I. would never do anything with it that it shouldn't be. But I'll ask for SSN, Social Security number, and that's to verify your credit score. That's to verify eligibility. You say who you say you are, you're registered, and all this. That's the part for it. So what I do is I get that information, then I'm able to put it into my back office, my guy Steve, and everybody else who gets it. Then we'll follow up with you and we'll help you. So watch that video first, understand the expectations, and then in the description, fill out that questionnaire thoroughly. And so that way I can input it, and it's very safe and secure. Another thing you can do, type in my name, Michael Granados, Granados, into YouTube. Or you can go to my site, viralfundingsolutions.com. So if I type that in right now, I'm going to go to viralfundingsolutions.com. Second, in the services tab in the navigation, click there. And then 3 from the bottom, it'll say credit repair. You'll want to click the learn more button, and then it'll bring you to the video. So that's another way you can do it. It's viralfundingsolutions.com. Hi, welcome into this compassionate credit repair review. You can probably hear me in the background there. My name is Michael. I made a 37-minute video on this. It's in depth. So viralfundingsolutions.com. See if I can put it in the comments for you guys, so you guys don't forget. There it is. You go there, click on the top navigation where it says services, and then scroll to the bottom. There will be a handful. You can look at all of them if you want, just to get a better understanding of me. And then go to credit repair and then watch that video. Like right now I'm watching it, but I paused it. And then it says get started here. You'll want to click that link. And now I'm in my credit repair superior help start page. And you'll want to fill that out. And then the rest of it I'll follow up with you with. Simple. You are most welcome. Appreciate you for taking your energy and time and being courageous enough to leave me a comment. I'm an introvert, so it's difficult. Awesome. Yeah. I'm going to be on here for a little bit. Perhaps you maybe want to go watch that video. I'll probably be on here till like 3. I'm just letting this go. Not a lot of people are in here now because it was done earlier. So I'm just doing some stuff via email. Oh, another thing too. I know you're probably gone by now, but I want to say this. If you're looking for business funding, you will also be able to fill out my questionnaire for funding. So if you went to my site or you went to my bio, you'll see funding submission form, and at the bottom, you'll see credit repair. So at the very top, you can put, nice. Thanks for not leaving. At the very top, you can put the funding submission form, and it should take you to the questionnaire, and that's for business funding. So you can realistically fill out the 2 if you want. The very top one is just business funding submission form, and at the very bottom, it's credit repair. Or you can go to the site, like I said, click on the services. At the very bottom, it's credit repair. And before you clicked on services, if you were on the home page, you can scroll down to where I put how it works. After the 3 steps, you can click on the button, and I think that should bring you to the questionnaire. So have a peek around my site if you wish, but you can fill out those 2 so I have a better understanding. Sounds good. Yeah, and that's going to help. Like, now I know your expectations. I know this, I know that. I know what credit score you're at, where you're trying to get to. I don't want to ask you that here. I know you don't want to make it public. But yeah, definitely I can help. Help out a lot of people of all industries. Been doing that this whole morning. A lot of people funded, others default, other people not enough in their accounts. A lot of stuff today. You are most welcome. Yeah, there's a lot. There's also a lot of unresponsive people. See, like, these individuals here, I don't have any kind of feedback from. They're in our system, but I tried reaching out, and so, hey, if you don't want to be helped, that's on you. At least from the right sources. I don't know if you've already spoken to someone else. That's the difference. So I may not make it until 3. Probably will cut it short here. But if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask.
Sell online and grow your business with Wix e-commerce. Creative,
Now I'm gonna just go through some emails today. I'm gonna start responding. See, this is a more responsive client. This is what I like seeing. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, got it. Why? Well, did he not see this? Yeah, he probably didn't see this. Probably just neglected it. I'm sure he did. Like most business owners, I'm sure you're not looking in your spam box. But I'm gonna resend it to him just so he has it in this email thread. Okay. Yeah, but you're calling me out of the blue. He says he's called me. How am I supposed to just pick up my phone? I'm not a receptionist. You either schedule an appointment with me. It's either direct messenger chat and or it could be a phone call if it makes most sense. But feeling entitled, like I'm a company, you usually just call and I'll pick up the phone. Will you pick up the phone if I just called? Perhaps if you knew it was coming from me. But if you didn't, or even if it was like a situation where you just don't pick up phones like that, you shouldn't be as a business owner. You don't even give me your real. Okay, there it is. All right, got it. So that takes care of that. Gosh, I don't know how she's so unresponsive to all this. I'm not gonna say your name, but I tried to email you. You just sent me one thing on LinkedIn chat and then you just disappeared. I'm sure you're busy, but these are the things you need to follow up with. And if you're not gonna respond now, what makes me think you're responding later? Like I tell you guys, this is the underwriting process. Step 1, this is how I communicate with you. Step 2, step 3. Simple. But if you're not willing to be responsive, don't expect me to go the extra mile or do all of this for you because I'm putting energy and time into you. And it's hard when people feel so entitled and feel like they deserve something. Ah, here you are. All right, good. Thanks. Whoa, okay. That's a big no. is it that you're doing that amount then? Okay, that's better. They were doing best beginning of this year, and then they're doing a lot better now. I'm looking at bank statements right now. Hello. All right, less business expenses there. That's good. Less withdrawals, which is amazing. Huge difference from the ones before. You're overdrawing. Good question. How do you get 3 million without collateral? You do it you can do it in a multiple amount of ways, but unsecured financing with cash flow, meaning how are you doing revenue month to month? What's your annual gross sales? Less of an issue with net income, profitability, more about gross revenue. So that's how you can approach this without any kind of collateral, no hard credit checks. Bad credit, that's acceptable. It won't necessarily say it's low documentation at that point. If you're trying to get 3 million, you might supply a recent tax return and year-to-date financials, profit and loss, but it's minimal compared to like the SBA 7A loans where they would have to have like a collateral assets report so we can see what you have. And so that's the route to go. And to get 3 million, you won't have to be doing upwards of 10, 15 million per year, because usually you get 10 to 15%. So if we're basing it off of a monthly revenue, then like I just said, it's 10 to 15% of your annual gross sales is what you receive. So you want to be doing upwards of 10 plus million per year because you get 10 to 15% of that. And if you're doing close to 3 million per month, like you're doing, let's say 2 to 3 million a month, it's more realistic for you to get that because we can get you from 75% of that. Usually we take the average and your lowest month. So primarily your lowest. If your lowest is a bigger difference in the last 3 to 6 months between your average, well, let's say you're doing 2 million, but you're saying you're doing 3 million on average. So maybe you had a low month or something happened, but we can get you 75% of that lowest month of the 2 million up to perhaps 200%, up to 150%. So your chances have improved so tremendously for getting that 3 million. So close enough to 2, if not 3 million. And just think about the 10 to 15% of your annual gross sales usually is what you're going to get approved for. Sometimes it's up to 20%. Eric, how are you doing? Haven't seen you in a good time. He brought in a present. He brought in the Dodgers hat. Welcome in. Happy to have you here, my friend. But that's the expectations more or less around this. Likewise, how's everything been? But that's what you want to be doing. You are welcome. Well, what kind of business do you run? So I'm going to take this profile. I'm going to look at my other clients. I'm going to compare these two. I like to compare sometimes. So if you guys didn't hear what I was saying earlier, I'm looking through bank statements. So what I'm doing, now that I have all his information there, what I want to take a look at are these bank statements from this one. Okay, so let's look at this. Are you? Do you run your own business currently? I have a person who just, well, I went through this just like the past 1 to 2 days. He didn't qualify because usually it's an SBA acquisition loan. Sure, you can do it with like a merchant cash advance, a personal loan, and a line of credit on top of it, and some other ways. Like a home equity line of credit, maybe what you can do. 401k. But if you don't come in, if you're looking for an SBA loan primarily, but you said you don't have collateral, so realistically speaking, we have to look out like high value commercial real estate. It's just a thing, and without 400,000 and Northwood of a 500,000, listen to this part. Without north of 500,000 in annual revenue, you won't qualify. 500,000 and above, 680 plus FICO, realistically a 700 and above is what you want. 2+ years in business, the necessary documentation, at least 2 years of profitability at 10%, if not more. Or just, well, yeah, 10%, ideally. And a lot of lenders are not willing to go past, right now, 2 to 3 million for business acquisition loans. So do what you will with that information. The reality is I have to decline. Okay, how about gross income? So the reality is most people won't qualify for this. And I'll say a little bit more in a second. Nice, okay. Understood. So with that in mind, we can definitely look at the file. The other parts I have to consider, of course, are your credit. They will not usually factor in collateral. There could be a down payment of about 10%. With a lot of business acquisition loans, that's what ends up happening. However, this is what's most important, and I don't want my energy or time wasted. I'll say that right away. Because I get a lot of people. Right now, I have a guy who's getting $2 million. You ain't ghost. If you're going to do that, let's not waste our energy and time. Please don't fill out an application. Don't do it on anybody else's energy or time. I'm not saying this to be negative because I do care about you first as a human. What I mean is, if you're going to start this, I'm going to need about 3 years of personal tax returns, 3 years of federal tax returns, profit and loss, year-to-date financials, and I'm going to need to do all the math. I'm going to need to do some numbers on my end before anything gets submitted to a lender. So 2 years at least of profitability, I would say, in today's market. Have any kind of profitability, but usually it's 10% and above. That's what we want to see. Business acquisitions, it's hard to say we can get past 2 to 3 million right now in today's market. But we can try, and there are other lenders through the SBA. You were saying you were interested in SBA financing. So that's the route to go in. And if I'm going to ask for you to submit to me this information, Take your time if you need, but just tell me you do. Don't be like other people who go 10 days and then I didn't even hear a response back from you. I don't even know what the heck you're doing. Why would I want to spend my energy and time with you? Why do I want to follow up? I'll follow up as a courtesy. And truly, I care, but don't waste my energy. Bottom line, anybody else in here watching, don't waste my energy and time. If you want to go to somebody who will half do it for you, then go ahead. They will overpromise, underdeliver. They will overwhelm you, period. But if you want to deal with an expert, somebody who has those personal and business relationships with the underwriters and the lenders, a team of people, where you can have this more organized instead of having to go one lender here, one cash advance there. It's such a headache. I've had to deal with a lot of that lately. We can't consolidate certain people's loans. Other ones we can if there's at least a first position. People defaulting. I have a guy right now who says he's doing 2 to 3 million, and I'm looking through his bank statements and it's showing me a little bit different. And if you're going to take the time, please do so. I'm in Vancouver, Washington. So if you guys need help with any of this, Eagle, as well as anybody else, in the bio, please fill out that questionnaire. The very top, it'll say funding submission form. Fill it out, and then it will land in my email. What I then will do, I'll analyze it, I'll evaluate it, and I'll respond back to you via an email. If we need to get on a call so you can discuss to me what your situation is, what exact project is, if you want to go into more detail, fine. Doesn't always need to be a phone call. I get it, it's sometimes needed, and I'm an introvert. I can handle all this, but if we can do it through an email and you know the information, you were specific in the additional notes section, you told me what you needed to use these funds for, a business acquisition, what kind of acquisition. But what you should be putting to me, if you're acquiring a business, in that submission form, do not fill out your acquisition business. Fill out your existing business. I want to know your existing business's details. So when you go to that form, remember, anybody else in here, do not fill that acquisition business. Put your business details into that form. And I may have a different form sometime soon in the future where I do both. But in the additional notes section, it is your time for me to tell me, in the additional notes, I'm trying to acquire a pool construction business of about 1.75 million. I'm going to need to do this. I have the required documents. I can send them over to you. Beautiful. All right, let's get this taken care of for you. But don't be the person who drags it out. Don't be like, I have people right now who they tell me like, hey, I have to create a business debt schedule, or I have to do a payroll report, or I got to do this. I'll get it over to you soon. You don't have to give me a week. You don't have to give me an exact day. I get that. It's better. But if you're just going to submit it, like I have a guy right now who just doesn't respond. Like, we're trying to get you a $2 million business loan, man. Will that even be available for you in the future? Maybe. But will you get $2 million? No, you may get half of that next time because you're just diddling around. You give nobody the feedback. We already know you haven't. You've been unresponsive to us. People who are spending their energy and time who you're not considerate of. Right? Like, it's about I'm a patient person nowadays. But don't mistake my kindness for weakness. I'm helping. I'm taking the time out of 2 other businesses that I'm running, and I communicated that. This is the one I focus on, but I'm focusing on you, and I'm focusing on getting you to the next level. But if you're not, it's just wild. Like, we just spoke about it today with our underwriter. Like, man, this guy's just, I don't know what he's doing, but he's been unresponsive to me. I've tried to send him an email. Even the president's trying to send him something, and he's being unresponsive. And that's irresponsible. You're a business owner doing that amount of revenue. Have you learned personal etiquette? Have you learned communication along this path? Like, some kind. You don't have to be an expert. I'm an introvert. It's hard. But if you go, like, I don't want that. I don't want those kind of files. I don't care if you're a 10 billion a month business owner. I get 10 million, 12 million plus business owners every month. You think all of them are going to be continuing? No. I appreciate your guys' understanding. I'm not just trying to rant, but this is the truth. Don't come to me. if you're not going to do your part. I need your 6 months of bank statements. I'm going to need your last 12 months of bank statements. Can you please send them to me soon? Yeah, I'll send them over to you here in a bit. Oh, I'll send them to you over in a week. Okay, great. We will revisit this case. Done. Boom. Submitted. Lender has it. It's underwriting. I'll send you a text message. Done. I'll follow up with you. Next point. Done. Taken care of. Like this. But you guys are like, but I gotta sleep, at 5. I gotta go to bed at 6. My fiance is just talking to me about cooking her food, and like now we're having a conflict, and now we're just trying to figure out where we want to go and eat. And I just spent 30 minutes though talking to her about going to her favorite restaurant and her getting her margarita, and then us sitting at the restaurant for 2 hours. Now I'm tipsy, and now I'm coming home, and I gotta still deal with this. See, now you're creating a headache for yourself that could have been avoided, and now you're coming to me with these issues. What's the case? What gives? I treat you guys in the best fair way. Anybody. You can speak to the people that I've already gotten funded for, and people that I haven't. Look at Eric here. He'll tell you that. I think Eric brings out the best in me. I'm going to be honest with you, man, because it's not like you're leading it that way. It's just I want you guys to hear and get a better understanding. Like I had a guy, his name is Gerardo. I'm sure Eric knows who I'm talking about. He's been showing up to my lives, and I have to go respond back to him. He sent me a very sincere YouTube video, like a video comment, because there was a lot he had to say, and I have to still go back and respond back to him. You're welcome. And I don't necessarily need that, but it's like, appreciate it. Thank you. I'll send you, like, if you get funding, like, I'll take care of you. Maybe if you send me your email or wherever you want me to send it to, a business address, here's a champagne. Here's a bottle of wine. Or I'll send you a bottle of whining. But what gives? Stop. Stop playing this game. I'm not your girlfriend. I'm not your boyfriend. Don't try to be manipulating. I have a younger brother. I know how this stuff goes. He's a Gemini. That's all that needs to be said, right? He's a Gemini. He's very trustworthy, but Geminis, they try to get their way. And I'm not like that. Does it work like that in ways? Yeah. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm not saying I do it intentionally. What I'm saying is it'll work itself out. And that's what I want. I don't want somebody who, like, all right, like I had a real estate. Where's this guy at? Where did he go? He'll probably pop up in my live. Well, we should have been talking, like a real estate investor. We could have been talking about this week in and week out. What is there to talk about week in and week out? What do we need to revisit? What is it here that I need to answer for you in a quick text message? Okay, done. Split. Where'd you go? You never started the application, my friend. And then I have a person today who comes back to me. If you guys listened to me say this earlier, he came back to me because I built a good personal relationship. Not the business. Business, yeah, but personally. I love the guy. I asked him how he's doing. I asked him how his weekend is going. I can send him a quick text message anytime I need to. Just to follow up, to see how he's doing. I understood his personal situation. I want to be there for you. I want to care about you. Doesn't matter. The thing is, he came back to me today. Oh boy. If he doesn't get the answer he wants, he is in himself. He's diluting himself. And he's not in a realistic world. Like I told him the reasons why he did not get a line of credit. Credit eligibility. And I went into it with him in depth. And if I need to pull his consumer credit report so I can look at it, yes. And I already had sent him information on credit repair. He didn't show any evidence of doing that. Or perhaps he went with a different company. I won't start saying names. But you responded back. He showed me an offer of a person who would try to act like a direct lender, but they weren't. And they were based in New York, so that's all you gotta know. If you know this space, you're like, New York, non-direct lender, and they're giving you a 610,000 line of credit when we couldn't even get you one with the best lenders. You're being fooled, my friend. Somebody's trying to get you to sign a DocuSign contract so they can fool you. They could probably go into your accounts, take your money, you're done. But I should have listened to you, Michael. I should have been hearing you this whole time. You don't rant. You actually give me the information that I need. Appreciate you, Eric. I try to be as informative. I want to give you guys the most up-to-date information. That's why I went. This thing has, you haven't been here this long, but this thing has been on rolling. You're going to be like, what? For about 2+ hours. But because I'm doing work, I'm not just talking to you guys. I'm showing when I can, but I'm actually filling out some questionnaires. And I have a client who submitted me his 6 months of bank statements. He wants to get an SBA loan. So I have to look at them and I have to understand where these transfers are coming from. That's what I'm going to ask him the next question on. Like, I see him right here. Online transfer from. Boom, boom. But we have to verify where that's coming from. And I have to ask him questions. How is he wire transferring? So over here, and I'll take more time to look at his file, but it's getting better over from February to now. From with his withdrawals, a significant difference. So it kind of shows me he's keeping track and he's taking care of his overhead and his business expenses, because that's where a lot of the deductions come from when we talk about withdrawals. But yeah, it's looking better. It really is, and I don't say that like, yeah, you can't trick me, but it's just stop. Don't do that. Nobody has time for you to do that. Nobody wants to do that. No underwriter in this world is going to be like, if I go to my underwriter and I said, Jerry needs a lot of help. He wants this advance by Friday to make payroll. He needs at least 60 to 100K. Can we get it for him? Yeah, we're underwriting his file. This is what the underwriter has told me. He defaulted. Well, I asked him the question. God, why did we even get this far? So, don't do it. Just don't go that route. Don't just go to an automated system that gets you an offer. Like I have people I have to go revise them for in a little bit. I won't say their names, like I said earlier. But it's just crazy, man. I'm not mad at. Oops, sorry. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at your behaviors and your habits, your routine. I want you to be better. I want you to wake up with better habits and better routines. And have it translate over to your business. The mentality that I've built, guys, it's indestructible. Something goes bad, I know how to rebound. I don't dwell on it. I move. I may revisit it just to think about the past and kind of look at it and go, what could I have done better in that situation? So whenever I sit with somebody and I talk to them, I bet if I came to somebody, to you in your company, and I spoke to one of your customers, I'd get a lot more understanding of them, maybe than you. I'm not saying 100%. But the question is, do you really truly understand your customers' pain points, their actual problems, their questions or roadblocks or desires? What results they want? A lot of people will say no. You guys are very fixed on one thing and one thing only. No pun intended, if you got the reference. But that's what I'm talking about. So it's now, or you guys go deal with somebody who does not care about it. Like right here, this person showed me that they did because they sent me their bank statements. Like, we spoke. Michael, can you help me see what I can do, what I can qualify for? So right here, I'm looking at it again. It's another file. This time it's their June bank statements. See, that's a little bit difficult too, because you're withdrawing. Like this month, you withdrew more than you deposited. So you could be overdrawing in this account, and then fees, you've gone negative quite a bit there. Yeah. So there's something wrong with their deposits. So the quality of the question is, where are these deposits coming from? I see all these online transfers. So I'm going to ask him this question. See, if I average the daily bank balance on this, I had a better idea. Yeah, see this month, see, he's keeping on an average between 12 to 20,000 if I did the numbers correctly there on my head, top of my head. Median, max, mode, a few of those things there. So this one now I want to look at. So this case may not be a good SBA loan option because of how intensive it is, and I gotta find out where they're transferring that from. See, like right here, they almost withdrew as much as what they deposited, and that isn't good. A lot of money is going out of their account. And I can see who they're going to. And then some of it I can't because they're just electronic withdrawals. So it all comes back to the same question, is where are these coming from? You can't just easily verify them. Like right here, I see the deposits and additions. These I can see very easily. I know where these are coming from. Now this one, it's usually the online transfer checks, and this is for anybody else. That's where you add the most. So I'm going to do this now because I have Scotty's. Yeah, the average and the starting is kind of close. So I'm going to come back over here. I'll look at these bank statements, separate ones. There they are. Those are the ones I wanted. See, he has different banks, so we have to look at all the accounts. Yeah, see, this is the problem with this account too, is what he's withdrawing just within this month alone is double the amount of what he's added into his account with deposits and additions. The fees isn't so much of a big deal, usually isn't. Ending balance, you should have a higher balance than that compared to what you start with, and that's how much is being taken out of the account. See, the daily ending balance here, it doesn't become a concern when his highest overrides his last 2 months. So that really does help him. So what I'm going to do, this person has the same situation. Like, he's transferring. The deposit here look good, and that's a large amount. Like, take away the deposits alone, and he has the transfers, and that's a lot enough right there. 232. I don't want to say the amounts for this period, but yeah, these look good. Like this one here is fine. The other ones quite possibly they didn't count as true deposits. So if he says he's depositing upwards of $1 million there, you can take off half of that. Probably has 500K. Okay, so I'm gonna send his response back while you guys are on here. So this is real stuff, guys. Like, this is not BSing. I'm not like in a Google image. You know how people can like, hey, I'm on Google image something, and then I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna say this to someone. No. So over here, let me come back this way. See, his account's similar, has more withdrawals than that one, but that one's just doubled, not tripled. And then he's online transferring, same situation as this one. And this is a very, very common thing and I'm going to say the industry they're in. So be very careful if you're in this one. Automotive, used auto sales, car dealerships, specifically that one. A lot of you guys have unverifiable transfers and or not organic deposits. The lender doesn't want to see that. You're depositing it too many into different accounts. You're just being transferred over. So this one here see, same industries. That's the problem. And then this one here, yeah. So let me come over here and give them a response. So before I get excited about something, it's like I gotta see this. It's probably too good to be true, and a lot of the times it is. Other companies it isn't. Other ones it's like looks clean, perfect. You have a high average daily bank balance. It's consistent month to month. Like, okay, here's your $3 million. Others it's like out of this world, out like, and you may not know this, so I'll educate you on it. Yeah, that's a huge amount from February 9th. Wow. Like if I added this day alone, that makes up for the majority of his month. Hold on, let's see this. All right, so I'm gonna go give him a response. See, these are fine. I just don't know why they always do this. He's got to set up a different system. See, they have the same thing here. These I can track. And these are ACH payments. I get that. No problems. Now, wire reversals here, that's a big issue. That's a huge deposit. So now that's low. In the early of February, they weren't depositing that much, and then this day got mid-February here. Now they're depositing higher amounts consistently. See that? I won't say the amounts, by the way. But here, I see that. That's a lump sum of a deposit. I mean, yes, they're depositing frequently, but take away the deposits and just look at the bank transfers alone. See that? See, we're talking like 6 million there and above. Hi, Elaine. How are you doing? It's good to see you. How have you been? I'm doing good. Just finishing up right now a client who I'm looking through his bank statements. It's not looking good on the fact that he is transferring funds, and that to a lender looks like you're manipulating your bank statements. And so right now, I'm going to give him a response he won't want to hear me say. Okay, that is off. Hi, Joy. How are you doing? I'm hoping California in October. Here's my theory behind all of this. October 14th. Well, it's my birthday month in October, but that's my date of birth. And I don't know if you've heard of the band called The Muse. They're an alternative rock band. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have. One of my favorite artists out there, Nice Sidonia, the guitar. A few other songs you may have known. They're very popular. But I think they're performing. I forgot exactly where it is. I have to look at it more deeper. I just kind of glanced over this. I was excited when I saw it. So probably early like October. I'm trying to like October 1st maybe, somewhere around that time I can be out there. And they perform on the 6th. But a lot of stuff is happening. I'm having a cousin. She doesn't want a Sweet 16. She just wants to do something small at home, like a little party there. So maybe I'll go to that. So it'll be all in October as well. And then I have cousins who are trying to do a trip to Montana, rent out a cabin or an Airbnb. It's for about like $915 a day. I mean, for me, it's like the amount of money to spend. Like I'm kind of like that. Like doesn't matter if I'm doing well with money, but it's like, why would I spend $900 on this? I'm like my dad. Why would I be spending $900 on this when I can spend $300? But I see the reward. I see it. Like I don't think I don't. I see if I spend 915 here, the luxury of being in this space, and then you have the scenery around you. Just imagine waking up in the morning. That's what it is priced at, but it could change. You know how Airbnb is. And so in Montana, they want to go take a trip out there, and usually we all get together and hang out. That's how we got to Lake Tahoe recently, and that was, you heard it, it was not that. I wasn't doing that. That's not what I meant. I was bon appetit. Amazing. We did have some drinks. I don't do any of the other bad stuff, but the elevation is high there, and so we were getting served these drinks. We met a guy named August, who now we have a good connection with, because we would end up showing at his spot every single time, and he was outside just serving us like those Slurpee things with like hard alcohol. I was like, Jesus. But they were tasty, and it was a fun time. But yeah, we try to get together with the family and do these events, and then they're planning to go to Montana, and the location's already been picked out. Knowing me, I'm still bringing my laptop. Like, I worked in Tahoe. I put a post on LinkedIn the other day, my brother and I, as a picture of us on the boat, and everybody else was on there too. And then I just spoke about how I would wake up at 5 to 6 in the morning to work. Like, I'd literally wake up before everybody to work just for like 2 to 3 hours, or an hour at most, before we got out the door. And so that's kind of my thing. I don't like letting a day or two go by, unless it's a weekend, then maybe. But for me, a day to two is like this is what I like to do, and it's like a hobby to me. It's not so much of a job. And so if I can do it and have it that way, it'll be cool. Yeah, but you should check their music out if you're into any kind of rock, even if you're not. They're a very good, very popular band from the UK. Well, they're well known here in the US now. For a long time they've been. But man, some of their stuff is just very like their old stuff, it's very rock, like very like can go hard. Sometimes a little screechy, but they've kind of like went into different segments. They've gone into a lighter rock, they put some piano behind it, some electronic works, and it is pretty good stuff. It's like, you want to listen to some of the stuff that gets you going, might get you on a run, might get you ready for a workout, or just when you're sitting here on a Friday. And other stuff they bring out is like very even keel, and you could just lose yourself in that music. It's just very not even the lyrics, it's just the tune. If you just pay attention to the melodies and you pay attention to the harmony and everything that you hear in those songs that they put out, it's a story of its own. It's not even the lyrics, it's the way they transition to different parts of the songs. And that's an appreciation you can't really get in a lot of different artists. So that's what I pull away from them. So, and I grew up like listening to like the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Queens of the Stone Age, Soundgarden, Linkin Park. I had Eminem, you know, their albums. He's probably like the only one hit. Probably some Tupac, Biggie, but not. I don't listen to them that much anymore. Eminem, I still do every once in a while. A little bit of Lupe Fiasco. Man, I wish I would have seen him live. But I love his stuff. When I get the chance to listen to it, I will. I don't always do, but I just love listening to the lyricist that he is, and not only that, but just the way he rhymes, puts things together, and then the sound of the songs is just unworldly what he's able to do. I spoke to a guy the other day who was in the music production industry, who was looking for funding. Unfortunately, he didn't qualify, and I told him why, but he said he went to go watch Lupe Fiasco twice, and I told him how jealous I was, and I didn't start getting into the whole fanatics of it, but it's pretty cool. Like, I'm like, I could just sit there and not, like, you know, you're appreciating something when you can be with a group of people, they're saying things and you're not. They're probably even speaking to you, but you don't say a word because you're just so caught up in the music. That's what I am. That's what I like to do. That's just how this works. And a lot of people say this, and I don't say this to be like cocky or anything, but people have said this, like, the most dangerous person in the room is usually the one who doesn't speak the most. Or maybe he's not in a crowd with people. A lot of people have made that reference to me. And it's not like I'm saying that, it's because you might find somebody who's more athletic. You might find somebody who can charm you up with a few words. And I can do that by means, but I won't like necessarily go for it. But that bad man in the room, you should do a double take on who you think it is. You might think, oh my God, it looks so good, and their looks, and they're genetically gifted, and they speak to you in a way. But I may be the guy who's just keeping to himself on purpose. I can come speak to you at any time I want. I can approach you. I know how to approach you. But I'm observing you. I'm seeing your little tics. I'm seeing your little habits. I'm seeing who you look at. Just by seeing those signals from you. That's what I did when I was in New York. I got into one of the most exclusive places with my cousin. We were at a rooftop bar. I don't know how we got in. I don't know if you heard this story here, but and everybody else in here. We got into one of the most exclusive parties in New York when I went to go visit. A girl was just checking our ID. I just showed her mine. My cousin then shows him him. He shows him his ID to her, and then we have another guy that we have to talk to before we get into the elevator. And then we went up, and it opened up this door to like another realm. To my left it was dark, to my right it was too, but there were a lot of people there, and it was just the time of a lifetime. And I was there just observing a bit, and then I walked in and I had a conversation with a few people, and I was doing the same thing. I would withdraw back and I would look again. So for me it's about can you do this but deliver with the least amount of words? Can you actually show it to me with your actions? Some guy who does this merchant cash advance, equipment financing, whatever it is, may be doing a lot of this. You might be hearing me say more word after words, but I'm not just speaking just to speak. I'm saying things so they can make sense to you in the least amount of energy and effort wasted. So efficiency is my number one. If you guys aren't efficient with me, it's not necessarily a bad thing. You just will learn it. You'll adapt to it. You want to hang around people who want to help you grow. in whatever way that's possible. That can be personally. You can develop more things in your business that I see that you don't, because I'm a digital strategist too. I work with businesses who need growth in their websites, advertising, all these things. And so I see what their budgeting and what they're doing in each segment. Muse. M as in Michael, U as in ukulele, S as in Stephen, E as in Edwin. Appreciate it. And I don't need anybody to tell me that, like, hey, I appreciate it, but it's not, it doesn't have to be. I don't want that recognition. Honestly, I don't. If it happens to come across your mind without you saying it, that's fine. And I appreciate it. I just don't want to be that. Like, I don't want to be consistently being given something, and I want to give more than I get. That's who I am. I want to give you more than what I get in return. Like for Christmas, like I want to give somebody more than what I get in return. It could be in anything, right? I want to give more to you. Hey, it's fine. Are you taken care of? I couldn't agree with you anymore. So I'm going to go on for about another minute or two. I'm going to go get a quick snack. My calendar has been done today, so I have everything that I had to do today. I have to make another post today, which I will. I have it right here. But that'll be an evening post. That'll be between maybe 5 to 7, or if I don't do it then, it'll be from 7 to 9. And once that's done, then I have to move over here and send some bonuses out to clients because they receive funding. They already know they're expecting them. A few people I couldn't speak to today, whether it was because I didn't get to them right away, or two, they were unresponsive to me, which I get. I can understand that. But if it drags out, like I said, it's like having the two little caution signs next to it. It made me think about a post on LinkedIn. If you guys want to go to my LinkedIn, verify if I'm real or not, do what you may with it. But I put two little caution signs next to guilty warning ahead because I spoke about my trip in Lake Tahoe. Actually, let me show you guys what I wrote, if you guys don't mind hearing it. I feel like a kid in kindergarten. Hey teacher, let me show you the class what I came out with. Hold on. Here, let me come to the profile. There it is. Okay. I'm doing both. I already told you I go the extra mile. No, I'm joking. I'm going to make myself, this time, I know it was a sandwich last time. I'm going to be getting myself like a little quick fruit bar. And then I'm going to eat in the evening. So I'm not going to eat heavy right now. I'm going to probably wait until, like last night I didn't eat until, like literally my only meal, what was it? I had egg in the morning. And then at night, about 9 o'clock, I had pasta, and then I had a little bit more egg. I'm forgetting these things. Like I do work so much that I forget. But here's the post that I put on LinkedIn. All right. So I put, living life in Lake Tahoe made me think this about you. ... At the beginning of July, and I speak to you as in everyone else in here, and I truly do. At the beginning of July, I returned from the trip of a lifetime to Lake Tahoe, California. Picture below with my brother. Guilty warning coming. Next to it are the two caution signs. Did you know I woke up at about 5 to 6 a.m. every morning so I could get at least 2 to 3 hours of work done before I left the cabin? And then I put LOL, laugh out loud. I know, ... Why work on your vacation, comma, right, question mark. You see, there's this thing about being productive, and I put it on quote unquote productive, and feeling like you accomplished something no matter how little time, and instead of thinking ... I could just take this time off of my old routine, my habits, and do other things early in the morning. I then thought back to my beginnings, or my origins. This is the fantastic business loan broker internet lifestyle that I am lucky enough to lead thanks to my previous, and I put here because I got to give credit to where I came from, internet marketing career, which gratefully funds my travels, and there's a lot more. So I'm putting right here already that I'm giving you that recognition, and I'm thankful that I'm able to do this kind of like from anywhere. I know a lot of you can, some of you guys can't. So I'm able to help you guys from everywhere, which is my next part. Not to mention that it allows me to connect with you, and I put YOU in all caps locks, and be more accessible to you, happy face. I'm nothing special. I'm just a guy from Vancouver, Washington with the relentless, and I put it in all caps, relentless, because you will not outwork me. I want you to outwork me and see what happens. I'm not saying outwork me, go have a race. I have enough stamina. I'm pretty sure I can do that too. But I'm just a guy from here with a relentless drive that has tapped into the greatest quote unquote job, because I don't look at it as a job. It's my mission, I would have said, my greatest mission in the world, and being able to run my own business like you. And then I put in parentheses, this next part may sound familiar. With the addition of an online presence to your brick and mortar, if you have a brick and mortar business, or if you're online, it could be a split too, it could possibly be a hybrid. You get to travel the world on your own schedule more freely, going wherever you want without checking your business every second, and working whenever you want. But most importantly is this, ... You get to take more time to care about your health and this impact, and these are in large parentheses, as many people from wherever you want. And I put the little explosion emoji con. If you don't care for travel and working at the same time, totally fine. It's okay. Everybody's different. You can never leave your zip code if you don't want to. ... Instead, choosing to spend your time with your kids, never missing one of their ball games or recitals again because of work. That's another way to enjoy the time you have as business owners. When you take the time to care for others and yourself personally, that's a huge point. You can send your kids to the best schools if you'd like. You can send them somewhere privately. You can pay for their college so you don't have to start off real life in debt, which a lot of us do. I didn't have that luxury. You can retire early, play golf, kick a soccer ball, go throw the football, go play an extra pickup game for an extra 30 minutes. Read more books, which tends to be my thing nowadays. Enjoy more afternoon delights and spend time with your significant other. That's something that I like to do. When that time needs to be given, it is. When it's rewarded. I make people work for it. I'm not an ordinary person in a relationship. It has to be worked for. It has to be rewardable. Bottom line is this. You can live your dream life thanks to drive and passion in what you do. And sure, the internet can help you accomplish more of that, which I've seen from my experiences. Especially when looking to get yourself some business funding for growth and expansion. Don't leave that out. The opportunity to grow and expand your business with business funding and through embracing your online presence, which I mean here as in try to grow it online too, without funding, is the key to allowing yourself more time to do what you love with who you love. Anything is possible, so stop dreaming and start living the dream. Take the time off you deservedly need, get what you desire and deserve, and then I ended it with my signature, first and last name. And then there's a picture here, again, like I said, with my brother and I in the boat. In the background, you can see the lake. You're making me hungry, Elaine. Is it already ready? Like for you when you walked in the kitchen, you could just pick it up from there. They still have to make it for you? Yeah, that would be nice to have a meatloaf sandwich. Haven't had one in such a long time, but I'm sure it's really good and of quality. You are welcome. Appreciate you. I thought it was okay, but I appreciate it, Eric. Thanks. Do I give one-on-one help? Yeah, I don't charge. It's just sometimes the one-on-one help can be a direct messenger chat, just that alone. Sometimes it can lead to a phone call if it's necessary. I don't always jump on a call, to be honest with you. Now, I can't do it with everybody. I have to save my energy and my time. I told a business owner, like somebody who's trying to get in the same space as I am, I educate people on the space too. Like, how could you go out there and help other people? Because I want them to do this. I want them to understand how they can do this themselves as well. But I told them on the phone call, like, I gave you 30 minutes of my time. Like, I knew that in the back of my mind. I gave you 30 minutes of my time. I didn't say it, but I knew, hey, not everybody can have this. So whether you decide to move or not, I'm moving. The choice is yours. You make it. And so some people can feel a little bit intimidated. I don't intimidate people, by the way. I just want to make sure you buckle in, because this is going to be the ride of a lifetime. If you're not ready to hold on to that roller coaster, don't even start it. But usually I have people fill out the questionnaire. So you guys can go to the bio and then fill out the questionnaire, and I'll get in touch with you guys there. 3-minute preparation, in and out. Like, done, ready to go. You guys are making me hungry. First Eric, and then now Elaine. I might make myself a turkey and cheese sandwich. And then, I have a cracker, salami, and cheese. I can do that with the Ritz crackers. So usually for lunch, what I'll have, I'm going to do that. I'm going to get the salami from Costco, and then I'm going to get the cheese packets. So you guys know which ones I'm talking about? If you guys go to Costco, you are welcome. So I have the salami, and then I have the cheese. So I just get the salami, I put the cheese in it, roll up 2 to 3. I could be there for hours doing that. So that's what you'll see me. I'll be the guy at like Costco, just like looking at the cheeses, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm taking this. And then I see the salami, I'm getting that one too. I could be happy with just those 2 things alone. I know we gotta eat more, but I'm like, yes, the salami and the cheese. It's a quick snack for lunch. So that's the awesome part about it. It's a quick meal. I don't have to worry about eating something heavy for most parts. It can be a salad, a sandwich. Like, I don't want to eat I can eat a sandwich today because 2 days ago I had pizza and I had so Saturday with the family we went to Red Robin, and I don't look at the menu anymore. I just know I'm gonna get a Whiskey River barbecue burger, medium done, and the tastiest thing I've ever eaten, especially if I'm on an empty stomach. And then later that day we had Domino's. I'm like, because other people were over, I'm like, oh, I can't send. I can't. Burger first, and then now I'm eating Domino's. No, stay away from it. But it's the chicken and Alfredo sauce Domino's. Like, oh. I gave into it about an hour in. Walked myself into the kitchen where the 3 boxes of pizza were sitting. Next to it were a pile of hot wings. Opened up the first box, like a sunshine. Like, have you guys seen the Teletubby show? And like the little sunshine girl comes out, the face. It's like what it came to me. Like, oh, okay. Now that I'm here, I can't back out now. And then I'm grabbing 1 slice. Like, what do I need 1 for? Put 2, and then I ended up coming back. I got like 3 more slices later. It's like, shouldn't have done it to myself. But I ended up working it out the next day as much as I could. Yes. I like the fact they even put the 2 together. Whiskey over barbecue. Like, we can combine the 2, but if I had to choose between one or the other, right there with you. I'm that guy, like, let's go get a drink, whiskey. It'll be Jack and Coke, or it could be an old fashioned. I didn't even know there was another old fashioned. Like, I think it was called old fashioned or older fashioned. Like, well, I didn't know old fashioned had a brother. But we ended up going to a place in Camas here, and they had like an older fashioned or something like that. I'm like, what? So I tried one out, and I'm like, this one was strong enough. And the second one, I'm like, that's way too strong. So they made their drinks way too strong, and I'm like, it's not like I'm complaining. It's just I don't really drink, to be honest. I'm like, I don't take time out of my day or on a weekend when it presents itself for a good occasion. Leisurely, sometimes I will, but when I'm at home, I try not to. Like, that's not my thing, and I didn't grow up that way, so I try not to, unless it's for an event or for another good reason, like the end of the week maybe. And it's just I don't go out of my way though to seek it. Perhaps like a little bit of like I did in the early 20s, but yeah. Okay, this person here just sent me a huge crypto email. I'm literally looking at a guy who just sent me an email. Wow. Like, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to even read that. You didn't even break up the paragraphs. He sent it to me twice. He's probably just trying to promote his own stuff. I'm going to go over here, spam. I don't even see that post. That person wouldn't be happy with my response. Spam. Okay. Dude, this guy just sent me. Let me look at it again. Kid you not, it was the. It was more chapters than the encyclopedia. And I don't even think there are chapters in the encyclopedia, so that's what makes it funny. There's more chapters than what's in this Atomic Habits book. This is full of, including the index, 306 pages. Like what he wrote me. Like, I can't tell you guys what's in that email, but I'm looking at it again right now. It starts with the truth, and then it just like breaks up into a different. Like, it didn't even like continue that sentence on the same line. It just, okay. All right, we're off to a good start there. Okay, he's going into what a Ponzi scheme is. I don't even know, but he's not saying that that's what I'm doing. Then he gives me a whole list of people who owe something. I don't know. This doesn't apply to me. It's just, I don't know what he's doing, man. I don't do any Ponzi schemes. I'm not involved with any of that. Wow, 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 wow. I should start, I might do this in the future. I might have like, not a show, but I'm going to have like those little buttons, you know? You like, the bombs that go off, like I've seen that in a podcast, and then the womp 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 one, maybe just to entertain it a little bit. Let's see, I'm all this time on here, but I want to really make sure I finished everything. So I have to go upload another TikTok here shortly. It's on my schedule right here, and then I have more people I need to talk to tomorrow. One guy just, I'm telling you, this guy who was supposed to get a lot of money with the SBA loan, don't come back later when the lender tells you can't work with me anymore. And then this guy here I have through credit. J&M is the other one, so I'll run him down right here just so I don't forget. J&M. And then I sent one to Mr. Carlitos. And then I have more coming in, so I'll wait for those until I write them down here. Bonuses, I'll try to get to them in the evening. Like I said, I couldn't even blog today, but I had it here on my schedule. But I knew it wasn't going to get done. We'll usually do that nowadays, Wednesdays and Thursdays, and or Fridays. LinkedIn messaging, I did partial that. LinkedIn connections, I did more than that. the emails, I do all that in the morning. So all this part gets done, just the TikTok uploads, and then the Facebook. I'm gonna do TikTok uploads, and then I'm gonna be repurposing that content to other channels here soon, from 3 to 7, perhaps. And it won't take me that much time. It's just a little bit of work between them. I'm probably gonna go on a walk in a little bit too, and then this person here hasn't been responding back to me. I circled it again. God, like, how do you do that? Like, why do you come into my life? It's like a girl. Like, why do you come into my life and then, like, happened in the past? I won't say it happened a lot because it didn't. Like, you know this, when somebody comes into your life and they don't ghost you, but they just like, oh, you know, I'm not ready for this. But it's like, why did you even take the time to speak to me? I just wanted to know more about you. It's the same thing with business loans. I just wanted to know more about you, but I wanted to know more about the information. And it's the same thing. Like, you may be looking at it from a looks perspective. Yeah, we all do, right? All of us guys do. And women out there. You guys know too, because there are guys out there that can be the same way. Maybe they're just not 100% interested. I know how it all works. I knew how I was in my younger 20s. I wasn't bad. I'm not saying that. I'm saying there was a phase when I was in college and even after college, but it was never bad. I was always in like a good relationship, long term. So here, I have finished everything up until the point where I have to get a response from people. So I have 3 out of the 5 people who still need to respond back to me. But I have more than 5. It's not just 5. It's all you deal with. No, I have plenty more. These are just the people who are very, very like urgently need the help. It's a contradictive thing. Like, if you urgently need the help, but then you showed up a week later, does it mean you do? What did change? Like, this guy, I'm still waiting for him to submit to me something. He should have it by now. Another guy here is shopping for like 20 different offers. Who the heck knows what he's doing? Another guy who says, I have 30 years of experience in business. I should qualify for more funding. All right, I got this. And so I went over there and I sent him an email, and he hasn't been responsive. Sounds good, Elaine. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you for showing up in the comments, for also getting me hungry. You guys were my preparation for my meal. Honestly, like, I know how that sounds. Like, I'd watch a TV show to get ready for food. Like, I'm gonna go watch a TV, like a quick YouTube video on food. I know we all watch those food channels on YouTube, so I'll probably be watching like a good meal from somebody. I sometimes watch like the contestants, but yeah, I do appreciate you. Thank you, and we'll be in touch. At times. And it's the same thing, whether you find the right one or not, you're shooting yourself in the foot thinking they won't give you any kind of stress, because they will, no matter what. You can be well put together and you can find balance, but there's always going to be something. But it's about how you know how to handle it. You can't continue to go down the route they're going. You have to bring them back. So that's what I do a lot of. It's like, hey, I understand the way you feel. I've been in your position before and I can understand. And then, show some empathy. It won't always be sympathy. That's what they expect from you. But empathy. And so just understand. Take the time. Listen. Hear them out. And then really be honest. That's it. Show effort. But don't add a problem on top of a problem. I know how our Hispanics family can be. And it's just like one thing just led to another, and they just couldn't cut it off there. And so you got to dig it deeper. There's times for it to be dug deeper, but then sometimes you're just like, no. You shouldn't have created more problems with someone. And it's always the truth with, at least Hispanic families. I know it is with others too, because I've been in their households. But I see it all the time. I don't know. The brother and sister, here they go. 2 brothers of the 3 sisters are in and out. Let's just ring the bell. Might as well put a ring match around them. And then they get along. It's like, yeah, we fought about it, but now we get along. Here's a drink too. Just arguing. And I'm over here like, I'm just tired watching you guys. I'm probably more tired than you guys are. Okay, so I'm going to end it with that. I appreciate you all. Thank you, Eric, for saying the things you said. I did see a lot of it, and as well as Elaine and everybody else in here who contributed. Nick just joining us. And I want to say I'll try to be back on here maybe Thursday after my live. I do a live on Thursday, perhaps Friday. I did a Saturday live. Just a quick one, or not a quick one, but I just spent a little bit of time with you guys. And I want to make sure you guys can reflect that honesty and the feedback. Like, I'm out here working for you, but are you working for me as well? Like, are you able to reciprocate? Like, hey, show some respect. Hey, I'm considerate. I'm going to go ahead and text them back, or I'm going to email them. Good. It's not always a phone call. Like, I had a phone call from some people, certain clients the other day, calling me. I can't pick up the phone every single second. I have projects. I have things to do where I'm busy taking care of something, a family matter, or something comes up. Send me a text message. I told you. You can just send me a quick text message. It doesn't always have to be over a phone call. And sometimes it does. So I'm going to leave you guys with that in mind. We have one comment. It's still available. It's on top of the 10 billion now. So it's the 10 billion, the 6 billion, so I call it 16 billion plus, because more is being pumped into these programs for grants. And so the grant opportunities, it's all in the document. And until otherwise, until they pull the plug on these, who knows if they'll pull the plug on it like they did with the EIDL, you'll know about it. It's all in the bio, grant opportunities. And then I created a piece of content, multiple times actually. So if you typed in 6 billion grants, you should be able to see a video come up. You can watch that. It's more thorough. And it was just part of the project because that was supposed to be a bundle. Yeah, that was supposed to be a bundle of the Restaurant Revitalization Fund and the other COVID relief bill that didn't get passed. So there you go. That's what they did. 6 billion here, moved into this one. Appreciate you too. Thank you for coming in. And with that last part, if nobody else has anything more to say, I don't mind if you guys do, but I'll say this. Appreciate you all once more. Take care. Have a great evening. Rest well. I know I will be. Taking a lot of time. And I will see you guys soon. Thank you all. Bye.